All right, guys, we're back again with Lone Star Grillz, and today we're going to do a smoked brisket, Texas style, low and slow on the Lone Star Grillz pellet smoker. We're actually going to do this, I'm going to do a staggered cook, and I'll show you in a little bit how I'm going to stagger that. I'm going to call this my weeknight brisket cook. We're going to put this on. It's about 7 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon. We're going to have this cook all night and into tomorrow and be done for tomorrow when we get home from work. We're basically going to set this up in 3 stages. We're going to cook it at like 180 for a little while until the internal temperature rises to like 160. Then it's going to come up to like 215, I believe, until we get to like 180. Then we're going to crank the temperature up to 225 and let it cook until internal temperature inside the brisket here gets to 202. At that point, if we still haven't gotten home from work yet, which likely that'll happen, it'll be a little bit before that, then the temperature will be programmed to run down to 160 so that it holds it until we get home from work. We'll take it off, let it rest like we normally do. This brisket is 14.5 pounds. It's a choice brisket, nothing special about it. I picked this one because it was extremely flexible. It bends over really nicely. It had really nice marbling here in the point. So I've cooked several of these. I think it'll cook up really nice. We've already trimmed off the decal fat off of the bottom and trimmed up the top a little bit to even it up so that it's got about a quarter to 3/8 inch fat here on the top mostly. Sticking with our Texas theme, our rub is just half kosher salt, half coarse ground pepper. And so that's all we're going to use here just to kind of keep with this Texas theme. We're going to coat this really nicely and evenly. At the bottom here, we're going to cook this fat side up. It's the way I typically cook brisket. I've tried them both ways. There's nothing wrong with the other way. If you want to try fat down, that's fine. It's just the way I've always done it, so that's what we're going to do here. We'll see how this brisket cooks out. I did one of these the other day just like this, and cook time was around 17, 18 hours. Partially because we are cooking it so slow. We're going to start out, like I say, at 180. That's also going to help us get a real nice layer of smoke built up on the outside. It's also going to let us bring it up to temperature slow and extend that cook time without overcooking it because we are going to be gone. We're not going to be here tomorrow to check on it. We'll have our Fireboard app so that we can keep an eye on it just in case something were to cook a little faster than we expected. But we do want to cook it really long, really low, and really slow. That traditional Texas style, that way that it is done tomorrow when we get home from work. So this is ready to go to the smoker. Smoker's out there preheating right now. So we'll come back just a minute and I'll show you putting it on the smoker. All right, we're back. Pit's settled in here right around 180. Tell-True's right at 180, 175, 176. Controller here showing 178.1. We're keeping 180 degrees as our set point, so we're maintaining right along that set point. I've already stuck my meat probe here in the center of the point. I've stuck it all the way in. The meat probe is what's going to tell us, or what's going to tell the controller how to move from step to step. So again, we're going to be at 180 until the brisket internal temp gets to 160. Then the temperature of the pit's going to bump up to 215 until we get internal of 170. And then once it reaches 170, pit's going to bump up to 225 until our finished temp, our desired temp of 202. Then it's going to drop down to 160 and hold it at 160 until we're able to pull it, in case we're not here when it does get to 202. If we happen to be here when it's 202, then we'll just pull it off right away, put it in the ice chest, and let it rest in there for a little while. So we're going to go ahead and put this on. Now I'm going to set this, because I've only got one brisket here today, I'm just going to set it kind of in the middle. Doesn't really matter if we put point one way, flat the other. Heat, as you can see the smoke coming out, smoke's going to come around all the way. with our deflector plate in here. So we're not worried about one side cooking more than the other. So we're just going to go ahead and shut that door. That's it for today. This is going to cook 16, 18, 19 hours, whatever it happens to be. So there's not really any wrapping. We're going to do this true, low and slow Texas style. We're not going to wrap it. So there's no need to come back and show you anything until tomorrow afternoon or evening when we go ahead and pull this off. We'll show you the finished result. All right, so we're going to come back in about an hour or so once this is rested properly, and we'll slice into it and we'll show you what we got. All right, so brisket has rested for about an hour, hour and 15 minutes. That's kind of the minimum that I like to let it rest, but again, the whole point of this video is that it's a weeknight cook. And again, that's the beauty of the Lone Star Grillz pellet smoker. We can cook a brisket on a weeknight without having to stay up all night long, having to feed the fire, having to tend it, and we were at work all day today. And that's the beauty of it, because even though we weren't at home, we had our app that we could check and make sure everything was going, progressing just like we thought it would in the program that we set up for it to cook. That low and slow, that Texas brisket that we cooked with just salt and pepper. We didn't wrap it. And there's nothing wrong, again, with the stick burners and all of that stuff. We sell them all and we love them all. But for a weeknight, who can cook a brisket Texas style, low and slow, for 18 plus hours and have it turn out like this? The bark on this is just beautiful. I mean, you know, the jiggle to it. So without further ado, let's cut into it and see what it looks like. So we'll go for the money shot right there in the middle. And the juice just running out of that thing. Again, didn't wrap it at all. So we'll just cut right into it. All right. So we'll see that. See the smoke ring that it's got right here. Pulls apart. And honestly, it's hard to tell that this wasn't cooked on a stick burner. For more information on our pellet smoker, check us out at LoneStarGrills.com or give us a call 936-344-6151. Thank you.